FA206. Prohibitions and controls. We will establish a rigorous system for licensing new agricultural and horticultural chemicals and reviewing the licensing of existing ones, including fertilizers, herbicides, pesticides, and fungicides, based on the precautionary principle. Restrict the use of fertilizers and the spreading of animal manures in a way that can lead to the pollution of soil, air, or water. This may include imposing a tax or levy on the sale of artificial fertilizers. Using animal manures in a positive way will be encouraged. Strengthen regulations to protect farm workers, rural communities, consumers, wildlife, and other animals from harmful substances used in agriculture and horticulture. Require transparency in the use of chemicals on fields and crops and ensure that the public and local residents are informed when spraying or fertilizer application is to take place. Allocate sufficient resources to enable the new Environment Agency, FA204, to monitor water quality and farm spraying activity to ensure effective enforcement of regulations. Establish and enforce robust regulation of GMOs, including gene-edited organisms, in food and agriculture to protect people, animals, and the environment. This includes effective protection from GM contamination, clear labeling of all uses of GMOs in the food chain, including animal feedstuffs, and measures to prevent the cultivation or import of GMOs unless they are independently proven on a case-by-case basis to be safe and produced responsibly, fairly, and sustainably. We oppose the development of GM animals. Restrict the use of antibiotics, growth hormones, and other animal medicines to occasions when they are prescribed by a registered veterinary practitioner for animal health reasons. End the use of peat in horticultural compost. FA300. Agriculture and the environment. FA301. Food, agriculture, and climate change. Climate change is the most profound challenge facing the planet. Agriculture and food production account for some 10% of UK greenhouse gas emissions. Soil is the most important carbon store in the UK. All farmers will be supported through advice and guidance to manage their farms to reduce GHG emissions to net zero by 2030. Carbon sequestration will be one of the outcomes to attract payment under the revised farming support scheme. We will set rigorous targets for GHG reductions to reduce emissions to zero by 2030 across the food and agriculture system to cover farms and the whole supply, manufacturing, and distribution systems, including imports. We will promote a move to a diet with significantly less meat consumption that will require fewer farm animals, reducing emissions from ruminant digestion and releasing areas of grassland for crops, forestry, or wildlife. We will introduce a carbon tax, and this will apply both to agricultural inputs and to agricultural products based on the net greenhouse gases released during their production. We will support the development of appropriate renewable energy systems on farms. We will monitor the growing of crops specifically for fuel. Lowland peat soils are vulnerable to erosion and carbon loss. We will support applied research to ensure that they are managed in a manner that reduces GHG emissions and returns them to being net sequesters of carbon.